Top 10 Causes of Human Extinction. Number 10. A supervolcano eruption. Probability to occur is 1 in 730,000 at any given day. The term supervolcano implies a volcanic center that has had an eruption of magnitude 8 on the Volcano Explosivity Index, meaning that at one point in time it erupted more than 1,000 cubic kilometers or 240 cubic miles of lava. For you just to understand what this size would mean, you can see an example of 1 cubic kilometer in the center of Manhattan. Now try to multiply that 1,000 times in your head to comprehend the real scale. Yellowstone volcano is currently the only volcano that fits in this category. If this volcano were to erupt in the near future, above the disastrous regional effect, the entire world would change forever. Immediately after the eruption, a massive cloud of ash would surround the Earth's atmosphere and block the sunlight. This effect would last for decades and the entire Earth's climate would change, sending the planet into another ice age. Let's hope this won't happen anytime soon. Number 9. Planet or asteroid collision. The probability is 1 in 100,000. Due to the chaotic evolution of the planetary orbits in the solar system, a close approach or even a collision could occur between Mars and the Earth in less than 5 billion years, and this would be plain and simple, game over for humanity. An asteroid striking our planet is not an idea from science fiction movies but a serious threat. Any asteroid falling from the sky would have a tremendous amount of energy. In 2028, the asteroid 1997 XF11 will come extremely close to Earth but will miss the planet. If something were to change and it did hit Earth, what you would have is a mile-wide asteroid striking the planet's surface at about 30,000 miles per hour. An asteroid that big traveling at that speed has the energy roughly equal to a 1 million megaton bomb. As a comparison, the nuclear bomb dropped on Hiroshima was only 0.15 megaton. It's very likely that an asteroid like this would wipe out most of the life on the planet. If anyone were to survive the shockwave, they would soon be dead from the heat emanated from the explosion, or from the lack of food, or from the climate change that would occur. Number 8. Solar storm. Probability 1 in 67,000. Solar storms powerful enough to wreak havoc on electronic equipment strike Earth every 25 years. Solar storms are also called geomagnetic storms. They're caused by disturbances in the sun that send charged particles into space. When those particles strike Earth's magnetosphere, they cause the storm. If the sun were to record a huge disturbance in its atmosphere, this could send a massive wave or charged particle and radiations towards Earth that could eradicate all life on Earth. Similar to what happened in the movie Knowing, with Nicolas Cage. Number 7. Resource exhaustion due to overpopulation. The probability is 1 in 650. Currently, the world population reached 7.8 billion people and is constantly growing with a 1.1% rate every year. The latest world population projections indicate that world population will reach 10 billion people in the year 2057, which might be more scary than it sounds. 795 million people in the world do not have enough food to lead a healthy, active life. That's about 1 in 9 people on Earth. The vast majority of the world's hungry people live in developing countries, where 12.9% of the population is undernourished. If we cannot provide food in our current situation to so many people, imagine how would it be if the world population would double. Needless to say about the issue involving the physical housing space required to feed the people's needs. We would eventually end up fighting against each other for food, water and space to live. Number 6. Antibiotic resistance. Probability is 1 in 300. Common diseases are becoming untreatable. That's the blunt warning issued on page 1 of a major new United Nations report on drug resistance. If we don't make a radical change now, the report says, drug-resistant diseases could kill 10 million people a year by 2050. Drug resistance is what happens when we overuse antibiotics in the treatment of humans, animals, and plants. When a new antibiotic is introduced, it can have great, even life-saving results, for a while. But then the bacteria adapt. Gradually, the antibiotic becomes less effective, and we're left with a disease that we don't know how to treat. Already, 700,000 people around the world die of drug-resistant diseases each year, including 230,000 deaths from multi-drug-resistant tuberculosis. Common problems like STDs and urinary tract infections are also becoming resistant to treatment. Routine hospital procedures like C-sections could become more dangerous, as well as the risk associated with infection increases. Number 5. Nuclear war and nuclear terrorism. Probability for nuclear war is 1 in 185 and the probability for nuclear terrorism is 1 in 250. Nuclear war, nuclear apocalypse or atomic holocaust is a theoretical scenario involving widespread destruction and radioactive fallout causing the collapse of civilization, through the use of nuclear weapons. Under such a scenario, some or all of the Earth is made uninhabitable by nuclear warfare in future world wars. Besides the immediate destruction of cities by nuclear blasts, the potential aftermath of a nuclear war could involve firestorms, a nuclear winter, widespread radiation sickness from fallout, and the temporary loss of much modern technology due to electromagnetic pulses. Some scientists have speculated that a thermonuclear war could result in the end of modern civilization on Earth, in part due to a long-lasting nuclear winter. In one model, the average temperature of Earth following a full thermonuclear war falls for several years by 7 to 8 degrees Celsius on average. With rising tensions between countries such as USA, North Korea, China, Russia, Japan and others, such a scenario is not very far away since all the countries mentioned have nuclear arsenal and they could always trigger a nuclear war with the press of a button. The nuclear terrorism is a little bit different. Nuclear terrorism might take several forms. An attack on a nuclear power plant or other nuclear installation could result in a massive release of radioactive material that could endanger all life on Earth. Number 4. Self-replicating nanobots. Probability 1 in 75. Self-replicating tiny robots could completely consume all life on Earth and lead to the end of the planet. While experts are developing nanobots for the good, there are fears this could quickly get out of control. Imagine such a replicator floating in a bottle of chemicals, making copies of itself. The first replicator assembles a copy in 1,000 seconds. The 2 replicators then build 2 more in the next 1,000 seconds, the 4 build another 4, and the 8 build another 8. At the end of 10 hours, there are not 36 new replicators, but over 68 billion. In less than a day, they would weigh a ton. In less than 2 days, they would outweigh the Earth. In another 4 hours, they would exceed the mass of the Sun and all the planets combined, if the bottle of chemicals hadn't run dry long before. Scientists go on to warn that they could begin destroying and replacing all biological life on Earth, leading to the end of humanity in what is known as the Grey Goose scenario. Let's hope we won't live to see that on our lifetime. Number 3. Human-engineered global pandemic. Probability 1 in 50. Well, this is not very far away since we have already experienced such a situation with the coronavirus. This virus was created in Wuhan in China in a laboratory that has the sole purpose of creating biological weapons. This type of pandemic is triggered by a deadly virus created in a laboratory, and by bad intention or by accident the virus is released in the outside world. Without any antidote to stop it or defend against it, the virus can infect the entire world's population in less than 1 year and end all life on Earth will cease to exist. Number 2. Artificial intelligence. Probability 1 in 25. Existential risk from artificial general intelligence is the hypothesis that substantial progress in artificial general intelligence, AGI, could someday result in human extinction or some other unrecoverable global catastrophe. It is argued that the human species currently dominates other species because the human brain has some distinctive capabilities that other animals lack. If AI surpasses humanity in general intelligence and becomes superintelligent, then this new superintelligence could become powerful and difficult to control. Just as the fate of the mountain gorilla depends on human goodwill, so might the fate of humanity depend on the actions of a future machine superintelligence. We have recently witnessed the danger of AI when Facebook developed a robot fully functional with artificial intelligence, and soon after it was functional, the robot started to create its own language. Well, that is what you might call scary. Needless to say that Facebook shut down the robot and tried to cover up the whole incident. Number 1. Global warming. Probability is 1 in 6. Planet Earth appears to be on a course for the start of the 6th mass extinction of life by 2100 because of the huge amount of carbon dioxide being pumped into the atmosphere. This is based on a mathematical study of the 5 previous events in the last 540 million years. Our planet is irreversible changing, and these changes can be seen everywhere. Recently, we could see the ocean temperature breaking records. Glaciers melting reached unprecedented rates, and if the situation continues, the entire humanity can be wiped out by a massive flood that would cover all the continents.